So Robert Eggers, since you mentioned him, we'll go into The Witch next. How about that?
I'm curious to see what you thought about this.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know much about this movie. It is The Witch, a New England folk tale is technically what it was called. And I guess it was just shortened to The Witch. 2015. I didn't realize that movie was that old. It's already 6 years old. So it starts out like it's around the 1600s, I think, right? 1630, something like that.
Yeah.
So just a few years before the Salem witch trials happened. And I think a lot of the aspects of this movie was based on real events or stuff from around that time period. So family of, what is it? It's twins, a set of twins, mom and dad, and an older daughter and an older brother. So it's 4 kids, 2 adults in the movie. They are banished from the local township. I think initially it was the father that they had blamed for, like, I guess this was around the time too when Satanism and witchcraft and stuff like that was blamed for everything. So it's almost like Eastern Kentucky in 2021.
Yeah, there's a good parallel
there. So there's also a young, like a newborn baby in starting off early. So they've got some weird fucking names in this movie too, which I had to write them down or I'd never remember them. Thomason is the older daughter, right? Which is played by Anya Taylor-Joy. Sounds like she's going to run for Congress. Like, this is around the time frame of like Little House on the Prairie or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just they're farming. That's all they can do. There's nothing else. This is the freaking 1600s. There's no jobs. You know, farming is their life or whatever. And she's out in the woods, and out of nowhere, that baby is just taken. Right. So this brings like the mother into, you know, she kind of slowly starts going a little nuts, of course, looking for the baby and everything. The guy that plays the dad in it does a really good job. I think he's a chain smoker or something. He's got the deepest, raspiest freaking voice I've ever heard.
He does.
And also in this movie too, the accents that the actors have, I'm not recognizing exactly what that, I mean, it's almost like a weird mixture or a variant of like Irish accent or something. You can't understand them a whole lot, what they're saying. At least I couldn't.
Yeah. And they actually went back to that time period and reviewed transcripts of what people, like how they talked and what words that they used and things like that in that period. And that's how they came to this, to that kind of dialect or whatever that is.
Right. I think the mother and the father both are blaming the occult or a witch. I think that was kind of one of the legends of the time as well. If something went missing, they always blamed the witch or witches or, you know, whatever, the occult. I don't know if the occult was even a thing then, but you know what I'm saying? So, there's another scene as the movie goes along where the older brother Caleb and Thomason go searching for food, and they get separated. And the boy Caleb is also missing for a while and is found, but he has been witched, is what they said, right? So then, I mean, just various things start going on with this family, and you do see some brief glimpses, I guess, of the witches. Like there's a sexy witch, there's an old hag witch with saggy, you know, wet paper sack titties. There's a little bit of a twist towards the end as well. It's another one kind of, I mean, it's not as long as as Midsummer, but it seemed it's just a slower build up to ultimately what happens at the end of the movie. And I mean, I didn't love it, but I really did enjoy it. I mean, I thought it was something different. It was, as far as the horror genre goes, there's not a whole lot of movies that's like this in particular. It's a lower budget movie, but man, you can't freaking tell. Like, he does such a great job. And I had heard that they're using, when they shot the movie, they used a lot of natural light. They used what they had there to shoot the movie. So I've got the budget somewhere here. A lot of people are a fan of Black Phillip as well, who's in it. Which, you know, I mean, anybody that's, if you're a fan of Slayer or any of those damn death metal bands, you know that goats and Satanism go hand in hand. And there's no difference here.
Yeah, there's an amazing scene in the film with Black Phillip too. I'm just like watching it going, oh God.
It's just so wild. $4 million budget, man. That's insane.
That's the thing. Okay, so I watched this movie pretty much when it came out, like not too long after it came out. And nothing, it was like nothing at all else that was out or had been out for, I don't even know how many years at that time when it came out too. And it just took everybody by surprise. Like, nobody knew, you know, that guy even existed at that time. And he came out with this movie, and the dialect and the tone and the pacing of it, like, there's nothing else like that going on. And, you know, I think that the closest thing would be the Ari Aster stuff to what that is now too, anyway.
And there's a lot of blaming going on in the movie too, like even amongst the family, like who is the witch in the family or whatever else. And then there's a scene too where, yeah, the Caleb character is like dying, he's close to death or whatever, and they all get down to say the Lord's Prayer, right? And then that's when I don't want to give it away, the shit hits the fan because a witch, that's the legend, I guess, the witch cannot speak the Lord's Prayer. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I just thought this was different. Nothing's like it. There's like, we compared Midsummer is similar to The Wicker Man. There is nothing like The Witch that I've seen.
No. And I think that was the best part about the movie to me is, like, you were really transported into this world. Like, there is nothing in this movie that takes you out of the movie, that makes you feel like that you're not in that time period, that this shit is not going on. Like, everything, it seems like you're just in a different fucking world throughout the whole movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's probably not one that I would go back and revisit a whole lot. But it's different. I mean, that's the thing. And evidently the story is this movie scared Stephen King. So what does that tell you?
Yeah. I mean, I could see it scared me when I first watched it. Just a lot of the stuff in it with kids and stuff. You're just like, God damn, that's, you know. Yeah. But anyway, I would recommend it. I would recommend both of the movies so far that we talked about.
Yeah. I mean, definitely recommend this. And there's not a whole lot of good, like, witch movies. Well, I mean, anytime in the last, 15, 20 years, unless it's something that I'm completely forgetting about. But I mean, you know, that's a subgenre within the horror genre that isn't talked about quite a bit. And I think that the interesting thing about it is the witches throughout the movie are not really seen very much at all. I mean, there's kind of hints at them here and there. And I think that works a lot better than just showing, you know, the typical, you know.
Yeah, they took a much better approach, the Blair Witch approach, which is just you sense that things are there, and the way that the camera moves, you sense it's there, but you never really can figure out exactly what's going on, which if it's a better way to do that kind of movie, it really is.
Yeah. And you were saying too that, you know, the script, even like the words and all that, it was written around the English that was available in the 1600s.
Yes.
Which that would be very, very freaking difficult to do as well. So,
But I think that's the thing that makes it work so much is because, like, if you're making a movie like that, but you have people speaking like modern dialect, then you really are, you're watching like a modern interpretation. But this feels like you're watching like a documentary of what's going on. Like if they could have film cameras in the 1600s.
And also this DVD too, like I think this is like $5 pretty much everywhere you go online. Like I don't know why it's so cheap. Did they ever do a 4K of this? I could imagine how killer that would look in 4K, but I don't think they did.
I don't think so. I don't remember seeing that, but I would buy it.
Yeah,
because the design of the movie is great too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I was very, very impressed with just the quality of it as well. Especially, it's a $4 million budget movie, and it looks like something that, you know, I mean, like a major Hollywood studio would get out. It looked great. That is The Witch. You know that on the, I guess that's Old English, right? The old English does not have the letter W in it. I think that was what they told us back in the day. So it's two V's. A special thank you goes out to our supporters on Patreon. The Patreon website has a complete archive of the Dead Pit Radio shows starting way back in 2005, in addition to all of the midweek shows archived, commentaries, all that good stuff. If you're interested, and we appreciate all the support, go to www.patreon.com/Into the Dead Pit. Tiers start as low as $1 per month.